Hey, how's it going, everybody? So I'm gonna be talking about Viking Wolves of Midgard. Uh, so I beat it recently. I would probably give it a 6.5 out of 10. I think that the game is okay. It does some things that are good. I like the aspect of talent trees that you can play through. So you can pick a two-handed weapon, you can pick a dual wielding, you can pick a bow. Um, and there's different talent trees that go along with the weapon choices that you're picking. And then the premise of the game is that you are the leader of the Ulfung, which is a group of Vikings that exist in the world. And your village gets raided, and through the course of it, you um, grow as a leader. You do different missions that help you gain in reputation, gather and consolidate different Viking groups to fight back against the equivalent of British uh, imperialism at the time, I guess. Uh, and it's a Diablo esque game, so it's top down. Um, you have different abilities that you can do that you can unlock as you scale up in the talent tree. And I went personally dual wielding, and that is like the Loki talent tree. And I thought it was okay. The fighting gets repetitive over time. Later on, the some of the bosses that you fight basically just become the enemies. And other than that, I thought it was good. Uh, the storyline is interesting. The different sceneries are interesting. I like that there are certain times when you are in a cold place, and so you have to find a fire to warm up because otherwise you will take ice damage over time. Similarly to places with poison or places that are like on fire. Um, and so I like that adds like a layer to the game that makes it so you aren't just straight up fighting. You are fighting in a way that you have to make sure you have enough time to get from place to place to cool down or heat up, things like that. There's different enemies throughout the games. You have trolls, you have goblins, you have giants, and different types of like elemental entities. Um, I think that most of the game is pretty fair. As you get towards the end, it kind of scales up really fast in such a way that it almost wants you to grind in the game in order to level up and gain better armor. You have blood that you use to basically upgrade. You have shrines that you use to sacrifice blood to gain in level. You can also upgrade the shrines to then gain in more levels later on. And then you can upgrade the different merchants that you have. So you have a armor, a smith, someone that deals in artifacts, and someone that deals in runes. And so you can upgrade each of them. I believe max is 5 for each. And that helps unlock different tiers of armor, different tiers of weapons. The only thing I didn't really like is that it doesn't tell you that. So you kind of just like you go through and um, I know for the merchants with the armor and the smith, I wasn't really thinking about that. And so the runes person I was upgrading, and I was like, huh, I wonder if the other merchants actually have this option. And so that's kind of how I found them out. But as you get towards the end, like I fought the final boss, and you fight him in two iterations. You fight him as a normal giant, and then him as kind of like a demonic version of himself. And I just felt like he's just kind of broken. Like I was fighting him in a normal difficulty. Typically, when I play video games, I play in the medium difficulty. Sometimes I'll play a little bit harder if I feel confident in the game style. But I was playing in the normal difficulty, and I just could not. I could not beat this guy because even it does not matter how you um, fight him. The first iteration is pretty easy, but then when you get into the second iteration, you only have so many times that you can heal, and so you just go through. It's like impossible to not get hit. And I just felt like he was kind of like overly difficult for no reason, and I had no issues with any other. Like there was a maybe two or three bosses where I actually died more than once, and other than that, the final boss, I tried multiple times to beat him, and I had to, like, I could not. I was struggling to figure out how to beat him, and so that's what I was saying in terms of like it makes you want to, or makes and you need to grind in order to beat him in such a way. And so I would say again, give it a 6.5 out of 10. It doesn't do anything overly unique. I like the setting. I think it tries to be very witty, and I don't really think it pulls it off that well. But other than that, I think it was an okay game. Thanks.